So of course, this tournament will be in standard mode, is in the standard mode, but of course we do have randomized swords now, so the uncle will give us one of 7 weapons to get through here. As we already alluded to, one of those weapons can be bombed, although...
Well, there are the bombs.
There's some bombs. That doesn't mean that uncle can't just give us 10 bombs as well.
At least we won't have to search for the bombs right now.
Yeah, this is the case where you actually want to hope for, you're really hoping, please don't just give me more bombs, because then it's just like you wasted the 3 bombs. But we'll take whatever uncle gives us, because we don't have any choice in the matter.
What are you hoping for?
I always like the Cane of Samaria. I find it has a lot of room for optimization, and just a very interesting one. But we got the hammer! We get to go fast this seed. Not as fast as with Boots or Mirror, but we can still get to go fast.
Just make sure they don't stop.
And the Fire Rod! We don't get any magic, but of course we are each going to get a quarter magic refill with those 2 pots. Probably won't see the Fire Rod used at all in Escape here. There's no reason to with the hammer, as the hammer will kill just about everything just as quickly as the Fire Rod will, if not faster, because the Fire Rod has a burning animation. And the hammer's free, yeah. So on we go. We have to go on to free Zelda from her cell so that she can help us push aside the mantle and escape. I think that's about the only reason we actually rescue Zelda, aside from the fact there's some items down here. Otherwise, we could just leave Zelda there and she'll get, turned into a crystal and so on and so forth.
I just wonder, isn't Ball and Chain Guard strong enough to move it himself?
You'd think so.
I do.
But no, Zelda just gives us that mental fortitude to gather all of our strength and push that mantle aside. As we go through here very quickly, because hammer just sort of obliterates everything, as mentioned before. The hammer doing tempered sword damage just sort of one-shots everything except for the ball and chain guard, and ball and chain guard still only 2 hits. As long as you don't tink on armor, as Chenzi just sort of showed off there. It likes to tink a lot. Another thing of note, of course, we will get one more item in the chest in the sewers, because we already have our small key. So we'll see exactly what we'll get. We have 2 more chests before the bomb wall. Not that really matters, because we already have... Oh, we have 6 bombs!
Well, even more bombs. Ha!
Not a bad way to start the seed. Chenzi doing the good old one pot, 1 hammer strat. Really good strat to use if you want any extra hearts, because those pots giving you extra hearts, plus the pot does the same damage that a hammer hit does. So you basically just you don't have to worry about him swinging the ball as much, because you basically just throw the pot, walk at him, hammer him, and he's dead.
Speaking about hearts, HexMage is using the green hearts.
True, yes.
While Chenzi chose to stick with the red hearts.
Yeah, not much of a style person, so I haven't changed my hearts yet. But of course, the hearts were changed for the main purpose of helping people with color blindness. As of course, sometimes there were some people that had red color blindness that couldn't actually tell the difference between their full and empty hearts with the red hearts, or it was very difficult to tell. So they added in basically all the primary, what I like to call them all the primary colors, all 4 of them. There's not 3 primary colors, there's 4. Red, blue, green, and yellow.
And there's the use of Zelda, pushing away the mantle.
Yep.
Also, and progressing, of course.
Yeah.
HexMage getting not really too lucky with the snakes, but also not too bad.
Yeah, you just sort of walk through that hallway. You just sort of choose your line, hold left, and if you have an easy dodge, you go for it. But otherwise, you just sort of let it be. Chenzi deciding to throw some fire rod shots out there. Fire rod having a much more predictable hitbox than the hammer does, as well as being ranged. Nice key rat kill there for HexMage. And we'll see. We'll see what we get here in our bomb wall. You know, since it gave us bombs, probably nothing exciting, because that's sort of how this works most of the time. It's like, oh look, we gave it to you easy. Well, bombos.
And a full heart.
Not bad. It's not bad. That's an appropriate level of hype for them giving us the bombs.
And now we have enough bombs for a whole of Kakariko.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see, unless we get even more bombs in Kakariko, I wouldn't be surprised to see at least one of these runners buy bombs on their way out. Because the bomb routing can get a little tight right now. We don't have a lot of great weapons for Mini Moldorm Cave at the moment, aside from, like, bombs are, I would argue bombs are better than the hammer for Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, you won't have to walk around.
Well, and the hammer hit, the fact that you have to hammer up to hit anything, well, there's our map check. Red crystal on Eastern and regular crystals on the other two.
Let's see what the pendants will be in the Dark World.
Yeah. So HexMage going for the Lumberjack Cave skip. Making that play of, I don't need to know what's there until I have boots.
Just some hearts in the tree pool.
Yep, and a bottle. That always good to get a bottle. I think, is that an empty one or a green one? I can't even tell. I think it's empty.
I thought it was green, but we'll know when he goes into his menu.
Yep. Oh, accidentally killed the bush crab. I don't think Chenzi intended to kill the bush crab, but threw the bush right at him, unfortunately. And a 10 bomb capacity upgrade in the hut. I did not catch that, Chenzi. It looked semi-required.
It was a 5 upgrade something.
Okay. It was a 5 quiver, yep. Caught it on the restream. That's really hard to tell with that bottle. Jeez. That mist coloring.
Just press 9 and the mist is gone.
But yeah, with that 10 capacity upgrade, I would be... Well, depending on how many rupees we do find in here, because of course... Woo! Hook shot!
Hook shot.
More bombs. Okay, so now it becomes more runner preference, because now we actually have basically enough bombs to do everything that you need to at the start of the game, especially if you are comfortable with doing Mini Moldorm Cave. I personally would still buy bombs here as long as I have rupees after I finish with Bottle Vendor, but we'll see what each runner decides to do. Shovel. We'll see if we get that turned in immediately or if we have a play. So, okay, it was a green potion. It was a green potion. Found the single arrow. Find a sword! Okay, so that changes my statement. Now I probably wouldn't buy bombs anyway.
Now that we have the sword and fire rod, once we get Dark World access, we will most likely be able to complete Skull Woods.
Yeah. And both runners, of course, need to find a little bit more rupees. I don't think Chenzi will get enough either. I believe Chenzi will be at 97 after he gets all the rupees out of this cave. So both runners needing a few more rupees to be able to get Sick Kid to, or sorry, get the Bottle Vendor to give them something. Ah, there we go. 20 rupees from the Sick Kid so that we can pay the Bottle Vendor. Nice amount of health. 7 hearts is a pretty good feeling to be leaving Kakariko with, as that'll give you 4 hits from the crabs even without... oh, Battle Vendor just with a bomb capacity, though. Didn't really need that, but you don't know what he's got until you pay him, so... Anyways, Chenzi will finish up Kakariko here as HexMage checks what's in the library. The answer is a 5 bomb capacity. We've seen a lot of bomb capacity already. Yeah, as expected, we're not going to see the race game just done. We're a little tight on bombs to just bomb that wall open, and it'll be just fine. We don't need 20 rupees. As mentioned, we are definitely going straight to shovel spot. We'll see how important this was to do immediately. Let's see what we get here. Chenzi on his way out. Shovel has a 5 bomb capacity upgrade, because why wouldn't it have a 5 bomb capacity upgrade? That's about all we found this scene so far. Bombs and bomb capacity upgrades, like, kind of hookshot. Nothing really giving us anywhere else to be able to do yet. Once we get, of course, the flute, or we get the lift upgrade and the lamp, that'll give us some access to Death Mountain, and a lot of access to Death Mountain. Is once we do get access, we'll have access to we'll have access to East and Tower of Harris, because we have the hookshot and the hammer. So lots riding on that.
Just gotta walk around.
300 rupees. Not bad thing to find right now. There's the flute. We have Death Mountain access. I imagine HexMage is still going to go to Moldorm Cave first here, because he's right here. But I would not be surprised to see him skip out an Ice Rod Cave, even if just for the fact that it's literally faster to save and quick, go activate your flute, and fly to 8. Even if you do want to do it right now, just hookshot HexMage. There you go. If you have the hookshot, that's what you want to use for Mini Moldorm Cave, like, almost every time. If you already have Master Sword, it's pretty good too, but hookshot is even nicer than that, because you can stand in the middle and just keep firing with your ranged attack that has no ammo. Boots!
I'm Bloomerang.
So I would not be surprised now. I think HexMage is probably going to Ice Rod Cave here. Yes, he is. I'm going to be a little interested to see if HexMage does check the Lumberjack Cave on his way to activate the flute. Now that he has the boots, I expect there's a good chance that that's exactly what will happen. Not that he will be happy with what he sees there, but I do believe that will most likely be the play that we'll see from him.
Well, we have Hammer right now, and we're just a Glove upgrade and Moon Pearl away from Dark World access. Or Titan's 2 Gloves upgrades.
Well, we are, but...
And he might just think, let's not check it then.
He might, but I wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. Is a lot of the time the way that not checking it early goes is I'm gonna wait till boots and then go check it then. So it's, yeah, here we go. Oh, Bonk Rocks actually. This is just Bonk Rocks check.
Just a piece of heart.
And our stun prize is a green rupee. But okay, so we are still getting the Lumberjack check. We were just getting the Bonk Rocks on the way.
Which is quite convenient.
Then he'll see the 5 arrow capacity and go, nope, don't need to do that. Off we go to activate my flute. And he accidentally talked to one of the lumberjack bros. And Chenzi pretty much right behind him, probably about 30 seconds behind right now, assuming that Chenzi does the bonk rocks right now, yeah. So far, these runners have basically done the exact same thing so far.
As Hex is activating his flute, Chenzi will probably go to Kakariko to do the same thing.
Yeah. Almost got into the animation at the same time. And of course, here comes the dark room. I would expect that almost every runner that's above 500 at this point would probably do this dark room almost immediately upon getting the flute. There's almost no downside to it, especially if you have a sword or anything decent to help you know where you are. And it gets you one of the best save and quit points for having the flute. Chenzi is going to use this instead to go to the eastern area, though, so we'll see how the difference plays out for them.
He's probably going to check Sahasrara's closet. And then maybe first couple of chests in eastern.
Yep, nice spin speed there. HexMage missed the hookshot dash the first time, got it the second time, but then just runs into a squirrel. Green pendant and turtle rod
of the day.
It's always an interesting one. Of course, it means ice rod is almost definitely not required, although it, of course, could be. The fact that we don't have it yet, of course, is a little bit of a sigh of relief for the moment being. And HexMage is going to start all of his checks here. You are dropped down of Paradox Cave. Of course, Chenzi now doing his old man get, I believe. Yeah, definitely doing his old man get. I know that part of the sword movement. The bow! And the lift! So, Moon Pearl away from Dark World exploration. We have Dark World access, it just doesn't do us a lot yet. Oh no. I would just boomerang, but, you know, all's well that ends well. We got the switch hit. That's the important thing. And there's the mirror. That's very interesting, because that's going to open up some potential really awkward possibilities for where this Moon Pearl could hide, depending on what items we find through the rest of this. The big one being, if we find Titan's Mitts, Moon Pearl could be in Checkerboard Cave. So we'll see exactly what does come to fruition here. Of course, still plenty of checks to be done here overall. What do we have on the island? We have the Cane of Samaria. Of course, we don't know if the cane's actually required yet. We know that it's not required. We know that Turtle Rock is a pendant, so it's not necessarily required there. And we don't know what Mire is yet, but I would bet that our runners are going to pick that up basically as soon as possible, because it could also be required for Ganon's Tower. There's no reason to leave it not picked up. Get a big key in the basement. That's always nice to see. Nicely, quickly being able to mirror out. And we'll see what we get in the middle chest here. 20 rupees. Item number 1. Now, of course, even if the last item does end up being in the basement, that's not a problem, as we do have the fire rod to be able to light the torches down there required to unlock that last chest. So no problem is going to occur from that part of this. Ooh, that dead rock.
Oh, trolling him hard. Trolling Chenzi hard.
And meanwhile, on HexMage's side, we're getting a bomb jump. Oh no, we're not getting a bomb jump. I thought we were getting a bomb jump. We just have hook shot and boots. Why would we ever do a bomb jump when we have hook shot and boots? The answer is because you forget that would pretty much be it. The other answer would, but that also comes with time loss, so you know. Interesting play there that Chenzi made to go for the back item before grabbing this item.
HexMage getting the 1 pixel through the bumper and is now heading for his Molder fight. That's 1 hit down.
I don't remember what the second item was. We're gonna assume we have it because we don't have a small key and we're also missing the map. And there's only 2 locations left, so those have to be those 2 locations. Which one are we going to get from here? The small key, but that's okay, because, as I said, the other one's the map, so it doesn't really matter. That being said, of course, HexMage's just wrecking that mold arm. Hammer will kill very fast, but it can cause some silly situations on occasion. Chenzi possibly forgetting the fact that he has that hook shot and is going to do the drop down strat. Or I assume. Yeah, there we go.
HexMage going into Spiral Cave with boots, so this will be faster than normal.
Yeah, no Resident Sleeper Cave today. And we get piece of heart and a refill. What are we doing, Hex? Oh, you're going to flute. Okay, that's fair.
He's probably going to check Eastern or and Sahasrara's closet.
Yeah, anyone who can do these dark rooms, and really, given the fact that we have the fire rod, both of these Eastern dark rooms are actually very trivial. The first one is a very simple one to learn in the first place, and the second one has torches that you can light with the fire rod. So even if you don't know the general dark room strat for it, you can also just light a torch and see the whole room. So Eastern Palace, of course, being fully completable and being a 5/6 crystal, has a lot of value on just getting it out of the way right now that it's available. Would not be surprised to see Chenzi follow right in that footstep. There's not much else that's in logic right now. Zora and Agnes Cave, I believe, are the only other 2 locations in logic at the moment. So there's no reason that you'd do those over a crystal dungeon that has 3 items available in it. Even, of course, if those items aren't all in logic yet.
I'm just waiting for them to pick up Titans and then have Moon Pearl in Checkerboard Cave.
Yeah, it's always fun to have that one. Chenzi, where are you going?
getting a Dark World map check?
Perhaps. I guess so. Not sure that I would personally put this time into a Dark World map check, but I can't really say it's a... If we get the information that for instance, if Myers a pendant may lower the decision to go to Samaria, but at the same time, that's not really an immediate concern anyways. I mean, we didn't check. I was wondering if this might have been what it was. We didn't check this the first time. I think we are going to get a Dark World map check real quick just for the... Oh, we came up with Flute. I was confused. Oh, here comes the Agonist Cave check, though.
You can't lift that rock yet, Chenzi.
Yeah, Chenzi wanted to make the play that we were talking about, but doesn't have the ability to make that play yet. HexMage through the first Dark Room in Eastern Palace. Unfortunately missed exactly what we've picked up so far in Eastern. Moon Pearl being the biggest one that I've missed out of there.
Just $50. They
So
have
of course,
enough money for Zora right now.
by the looks of it, this is a logically required double dip, but you will see runners of almost any level will probably know the first Dark Room, and if they know the Fire Rod trick for the second Dark Room, I don't see any reason why most runners wouldn't full clear this dungeon the first time they're here with the bow, at least.
But if Eastern doesn't have progression, I think it's only Zora left to have
No,
progression.
Eastern had progression. Eastern had Moon Pearl.
Oh, I missed that.
So did I, but I got it on the tracker because our tracker is amazing. Anyways, going through the Armos fight, didn't quite get the quick kill. Got 3
More
bombs.
Well, now that we have Dark World access, will Hex go check out Hype Cave right now, or will he just go somewhere else?
Yeah, lots of choices that you can make right now. Even the play to pod would be a play that you could make right now, especially if you are generally comfortable with Dark Rooms. The play to pod is actually one that I really like in this case. You have the Fire Rod, you have the hammer, and you have the bow. So if you're familiar enough with the Dark Maze in pod, you can actually get through all of that fairly quickly, even without the lamp. And the Turtle Room's not a huge deal when you have the Fire Rod. Especially half magic with the Fire Rod.
We will probably get a map check from HexMage right here.
Yep. I would expect so. So
Beautiful.
crystals around the top there. Boring. We already, of course, knew the green pendant, but boring pendants on pod and Skull Woods, which would have made my play on pod a little bit worse, of course, because it's not as useful when it's a pendant.
And we're getting our money back from the chess game.
Yep. Not a bad thing to see.
That guy is almost always one nice to us.
Now, of course, while I say that pod is a pendant, I am wondering how much that is going to be in Pod that will be useful to us, because Pod, as I said, there is basically fully accessible to us at the moment, assuming darkroom availability and knowing Pod logic. There's a decent chance that's where the lamp is in the first place. Uh-oh. Chenzi's gonna have to kill some things here. Ran out of health to do the damage glitch there. Going to kill everything, then gonna also have to dodge the anti-fairies as they explode. We may see Chenzi making use of that fairy room, the fairy pots here. Meanwhile, HexMage gets big key in the first chest, so we'll see how full the other chests are of items versus junk in here. There's one dungeon item. Yeah, so Chenzi using the fairy spot. Fairy pot's very useful for, especially now. Granted, as I mentioned before, this dark room is not the most dangerous thing if you think about the fact that you have the fire rod. That's a different issue right now. But that being said, Chenzi dealt with it just fine. Dark room completed, almost. Need to pick up that magic pot first. Still, I think we're good. Yep, there was the key usage, so we should be out of the room. There we are. HexMage collecting that heart now. I like to leave that heart for the very end, for if I take damage on my way back up and I can top off my hearts at the end. But never, of course, it's always just a matter of what you're used to and what your muscle memory does, and of course what your current situation is.
I pick it up on my way up if I'm low on hearts, and
yeah.
Otherwise I leave it.
And sort of what I was thinking was he's not really low on hearts at the moment, but it's probably not gonna be a huge issue. Especially if you're someone who knows the blind script, it's even less of an issue. If you're fairly consistent at the blind script, it's not gonna matter. Oh, we had the fast kill set up, but unfortunately we just didn't. We just got bopped by one of the Armos Knights, so no quick kill coming in this time. Really just not having a very... Armos Knight's just not being very nice right now. And this Patrick does not want to let HexMage through. Switch sides, and he's like just trying to get through.
He's like, if you go left, I go right. But on stairs, it's always you bumping in each other then.
Yep.
There's the smoky.
Yep. There's still one item left at least. I'm not sure if they're both items or not, as I once again failed at counting anything in any of these dungeons ever as a commentator. There's the powder. We can turn that in almost immediately.
That's very convenient indeed.
Chenzi, where are you going? Are you going straight to Thieves Town? Yep.
Let's see if HexMage can keep to the script.
At that amount of health, I'd hope so. Already, I think, a little bit off, though. I don't think blind typically moves in phase 1 if you do it right, yeah. So, hopefully, everything will be fine here. We don't have a lot of safeties, though. one more.
It's so close, but he still has a fairy.
Okay, we're okay. Oh, right, I forgot about the fairy. Yeah, so we were fine there. We were fine. They're fine. And we'll see where the next play is to. I wouldn't be surprised to see, with either of these runners going straight to Skullwoods, I wouldn't be surprised to see Skullwoods left off the radar for a while, although this place sort of looks like it might be that. No, we are going to Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb, I believe is what this is going to be.
He isn't checking Bumper Cave Ledge, though.
No, which is always an interesting play, but HexMage seems to be much more of a player of chests per minute versus information. As of course mentioned before, he did not check Aghanim or Lumberjack Cave until he had boots and knew he was able to access it. Although I guess technically he's still not able to access it because he still doesn't have a Master Sword or Cape. But the boots is the main thing that people typically wait for to check Lumberjack Cave. If there's someone who puts it off for a while. So as mentioned, here comes the King's Tomb check. Always interesting. I always like finding the Titan's Mitts in here because it's one of those cases where you find one of the items that's required to get there in the location because there's multiple ways to access it.
Just the red ring.
Just the leg meringue. So we'll see where the next plays are to here. I'd imagine we're just gonna go along the south route here, route in our south of Grove Ledge, the Stumpy, Race Game, possibly the Powder, assuming he thinks about it.
And Hype Cave.
And then, yeah, of course, Hype Cave. So, yeah, not thinking about not worrying about the Powder yet. Whether it's because he's not thinking about it or thinking he'll route it in once he gets the Titan's Mitts, hard to say. Of course, always one of those gambles you have to take, because if it's where the Titan's Mitts are, that's a different problem. It's a lot of rupees. There's our item.
Digs. 15 digs for a vanilla piece of art.
Well, I'll take that vanilla piece of heart for now. Actually, another interesting thing is, of course, we're just flippers away from Swamp Palace and therefore Pyramid Fairy access. So Pyramid Fairy could very easily come into play this seed, although granted, we're actually getting decently close to Go Mode in general as well. I think at this point we're just... So Lamp, logically, of course, we know where Samaria is. We can get it as soon as we get Titan Mitts. And, like, that's it? And whatever medallion we need for Meyer.
Flippers. We need flippers.
Oh, and flippers, as I just mentioned, yes.
Titans. For Ice Palace.
Yep. Everything's very fetch questy at the moment, basically.
Might be boots if Titans are in desert. And maybe one of the... Maybe the Ether or Quake. And
there's the lamp.
And $50. Hype Cave not too hype right now, but
Hype Cave appropriately hype. I like Hype Cave with 1 or 2 items. It's hype enough. I just don't like 80 rupee Hype Cave. 80 rupee Hype Cave is like, why did you even bother Hype Cave? Why did you even try?
it's instead of Hype Cave, it's Sad Cave. It's Rich Cave.
It's not even rich. You can have 1,200 rupees, but nah, it just has 80.
Student cave?
Perhaps. Anyways, onto the pyramid ledge, and of course Chenzi is going on to his blind fight. Ledge with 50 rupees, we're not picking those up. We've got 1,300 rupees.
Chenzi is going off script. Missed the hit. And it seems like HexMage is going towards pod.
Yeah, we'll see if we also get a Zora check when we do this. Oh, pod, sorry. I was thinking catfish. I stopped looking. And Chenzi takes a death, but should still have his fairy. There it is. Should be okay to finish the fight off, most likely. There's 2 hits, I believe. There's 3 hits.
And Chenzi finishes off his blind fight as HexMage is entering Palace of Darkness. Let's see if it's logically bow locked.
Largely irrelevant with largely irrelevant with how easy the bow was to find and succeed. Although of course it would have been very easy to also not find the bow yet, because you could have very easily come into Dark World without before you found the bow in this seed, as the bow was on Death Mountain, and oh no, sorry, the bow was right beside the lift upgrade, wasn't it? Never mind, you couldn't make it to Dark World without the bow. Like, no way. Not unless Zora has like the other lift upgrade or something like that. And in that case, I probably wouldn't be making the pendant pod play before I made the Death Mountain play. But that's a different story altogether. Nice dodge of the fireball there.
HexMage nearly made it through the whole of the hellway in pod without getting hit, but then right at the end got snagged by the spike.
Of course, as you mentioned, though, we are logically bow locked, but as we said, like, that's almost entirely irrelevant in this situation. As of course we were gonna have the bow by the time we got here in every case unless Zora has a lift upgrade. Or I guess Aga access, but that would just be even sillier. Actually, I guess Aga access would only be done if you can do Dark Aga, because Hype Cave had the lamp. Oh, I also didn't realize that the rat had Uncle's bombs. Maybe that rat is actually our uncle in the Dark World.
That would be interesting. If it's dangerous to go alone, take this. In vanilla game, he gives you 300 rupees.
And Mage, a couple more quick checks here. Not quite sure why he didn't jump off the vanilla big key ledge to get this, but maybe just forgot that he hadn't got it already. As he sort of ended up doing the dungeon in an awkward way due to where due to the requirement of doing the bow side first.
Will he do the hammer jump, or will he not?
I wouldn't expect to see it, but you never know. Yeah. With the lamp, there's very little reason to do the hammer jump in a non-key sanity randomizer.
Well, there's the Master Sword.
Yep. Master Sword is a good one. Gonna powder some anti-fairies for more health.
Mushroom.
So we can skip the Hellway as long as we're sort of aware here. Once we have 2 keys at this point, we don't. Oh, he already did the Hellway. That's right. I'm silly. Silly. I never do the Hellway first because I sort of want to find out if I even need to do it. Because if I have 2 keys by that point, then I know that the Hellway just has another small key. But of course, the Hellway had the Master Sword, so we were going to just have 3 keys and go there anyways.
There's a big key.
Yep. That's the other reason why he wasn't going to do the hammer yum. Forgot about that part. So
just 10 arrows in a big key chest.
Yeah. As he leaves, because of course Helmasaur has the map. So unless pedestal is required, Helmasaur has no value for us. And I think we're going to make a catfish play is what this is telling me.
Catfish to Zora, you reckon?
Yeah, I think we had a question of if we're in logic. Yeah, the only logic break, the only sequence break we've done so far was Dark Room, and since we now have the lamp, everything's in sequence.
Chenzi does the Hellway and Koden flawlessly.
Yeah, so we are going to get the catfish play. And then we'll get I assume we're going to get a check on the Zora ledge as well as the Zora actually checking what Zora has. Oh, I forgot we also have a mushroom, so we'll turn in the mushroom here as well.
What do you think will Zora wield today?
Well, I sort of want, I almost want to see Zora have the Titans after what I was just talking about before, just as this really awkward way to be able to have gotten into Dark World without the bow. Even though it doesn't really matter in, like, any situation. Talks to the witch after he already had a full refill part turned into a full heart container and gave him a refill. Ooh, okay. Not having flippers, saving him there. If he'd had flippers, he would have had to swim all the way around there again, which is just awful. But instead, just, you know, falls in, gets worked back up again.
If only you could get in, like, when you have flippers, you could say, yeah, I'd like to get back to where I jumped in, please.
Silvers!
That's a really nice find. Thank you, Catfish.
I also wouldn't mind vanilla flippers. That would be fun, too.
And then Titans on Zora ledge.
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Oh no, Chenzi takes a fall.
Not a huge deal. You just walk out of the room and back in and everything's fine. Well, unless you die. Because if that Helmasaur bumped him off, he would have... I think that would have been a death.
Yeah, the fairy he had got used with the blind fight. Let's see vanilla flips, please.
Nope, piece of heart. So where does the game really want us to go right now? Probably Skull Woods. Where else can we go?
I only see Skull Woods.
Yeah,
Wait.
that might be it.
No, Swamp. We can do Swamp.
No, we don't have flippers.
Oh yeah.
Like, of course, our runners could go to Ice Palace if they wanted.
No, we don't have Titans.
Oh, right, we don't have Titans. Always forget about the Titan's Mitts part. Because, of course, we can fake Flipper there, but yeah, can't lift the rock, so that doesn't do us any good. So yeah, so really just...
Fake Titans.
Fake Titans, do it. Walk through obstacles, get the portal anyways. So yes, we're dipping one dungeon. We're going to see how far we have to dip it here. Chenzi is mirroring, so I wonder if Chenzi's going to make... If we're going to be basically right on the same page here, Chenzi's just going to be short the silver arrows for the... as a loss here. Gonna turn into mushroom, okay. Gonna pick up his piece of heart for the trouble. I don't think that was intentional bonk to get magic there, but picked up the magic pot anyways.
Entering Skull Woods with Master Sword and Fire Rod and half magic. Really not bad.
Yeah, if they have to go all the way to Mothula, it should be a well, we're still in Green Mail, so I won't call it too trivial a fight, but I would expect that the Mothula fight shouldn't be a huge issue for these runners should they have to do it. Nice small key pickup there, so no items yet, but don't have to go through the pinball room. That looks good. Okay, went too far now. That looks good. That should be good for the bomb jump.
Another small key, you can just get through the right side.
And we get still no items. 3 locations left, 2 items to go.
Skipping the small key down in that room, I believe.
Well, of course, doesn't need that small key because that small key is use a small key to get a small key. You never go there if you don't have to. Skullwoods already has extra small keys because of this small key door on the left side of the area that HexMage is in right now.
I never knew as a kid how to get in there.
Wallmaster almost getting hexed.
Just 3 more item locations left. Let's see if this is one of them. Nope.
Okay, so we're killing Mothula almost definitely.
Mothula has an item, so I'd kill him.
Yeah, I don't think there's a reason we wouldn't kill Mothula at this point. The only reason would be if we find, I think, literally just Titan's Mitts, maybe the flippers in the first chest. But even then, like, there's so much time invested to come back here again when there's nothing else left in the area. Really, I don't think it's worth dipping out before you just kill Mothula. We are going to check the bottom chest first, though. Nice dash there. Well, there's the Titan's Mitts. And there it is.
He's leaving Skullwoods.
As I said, if there's one item that would do it, that would be the item.
In before that is flippers.
Yeah, it very well could be. It could be flippers. It could be. It could be ether. Ice Rod's not really a huge deal. Ice Rod is almost definitely not something we need. Almost definitely something we don't need, but still could be. Because of course, since Ice Palace and Swamp Palace are both crystals, flippers could be on pedestal.
That would be just mean.
It would be just mean.
And I like it.
HexMage, why aren't you just going to that one? Whatever. Not even sure it matters, actually. I'm not actually sure which way is faster to clear the Dark World chests. It might actually be faster to literally go to the Turtle Rock location and then just go backwards through the caves if necessary. But of course, HexMage making this play because he wants his King of Samaria right now.
And we're getting a medallion check for T-Rock at the same time. And he's getting troll rocks. But
unfortunately, powdering them does not work after they've been rocked. Before they've been rocked, it makes them killable, but afterwards, not so much.
Let's see. It's Quake. We can enter Turtle Rock.
We are going to open it. Well, hopefully the race isn't decided by him opening Turtle Rock, but I personally don't like opening Turtle Rock until I actually need to. Because I pretty much know I'm going to go to that entrance either way, as that's my way up to Death Mountain once I have Titan's Mitts and Hookshot.
Bombos for Meyer, so we already got that medallion.
Yep. So that puts us to Flippers for most likely go mode. Boots, of course, still being on the table as a required item.
We already have boots.
Oh, we have boots. What am I talking about? Who needs boots, guys? Who gets boots early? Boots are always go mode when you get them. Jeez. I've had boots for so long, and I've already forgotten.
We need the water boots. There's the cape in checkerboard.
Yeah, neither player, I believe, has checked Bumper Cave yet, have they?
Not that I know of. No, just another bottle in Hookshot Cave.
Yep, time to go to the back of Hookshot Cave, because that's really why we came here in the first place. Chenzi will eventually see the 20 rupees there. I believe he saw earlier, because I think Chenzi was the one that came here to get Agnes Cave super early.
Chenzi did check Agnes Cave before Hex, yes.
There's Arcana Samaria. Now let's see what play we get from here. I wouldn't be surprised to just see a full clear of Meyer as the next thing.
Or Desert.
Or Desert, yeah. Either or. Meyer always being an interesting one to do because of the fact that Meyer is Meyer full clear can be just as fast as Meyer go mode anyways, because of the fact that you sort of need to go until you find the big key, and the big key can be in almost any chest in the dungeon. So of course almost any chest being not the big chest.
There's Tempered.
Yeah, Chenzi, of course, already having that one.
Makes it significantly faster on the Ganon fight, but we already know Catfish has the silver arrows. So yeah. It's just a quicker first couple of phases.
It will be interesting if once again, if Chenzi actually finds those silvers, because at this point, if Flippers are not overly trolly, there's a good chance that Chenzi does not go back to Catfish to pick up those silver arrows. And that could cost a significant amount of time in that situation.
HexMage does not have full health, so can't do a zero cycle in this room.
Well, not without using the Fire Rod, but he did not use the Fire Rod, so... cleaned it up nicely there. Chenzi missed the key dash there. You want to try to sort of rub against the edge of the torch to try to get to that key door with the exact 4-frame window there. I think he tried to set that up. Either that or he just didn't cancel his dash in time, or was just sort of YOLOing it. Either way. Just a bonk on a door. Not a huge issue either, regardless. As we go into the Landmolas fight.
Just over an hour in.
To be fair, that's decently early for a Landmolas fight in a lot of rando seeds, because with the fact that a lot of the times your desert access is Flute, Titans, Mitts, and Mirror, because a lot of seeds you don't even find the book. Landmolas can be a long time to get to. Heck, back in like V25, I remember Desert was actually one of the hardest places to ever get to. Was often your go mode was access to Desert Palace. Anyways, in the meantime, HexMage zipping through the mire here. See what Chenzi's choice to do here is.
If I remember correctly, the fact that there's a key there, small key there, it means that the big key chest has something, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, it was a small key in the torch room there.
Yeah, north of the torch room.
Yeah, yeah. Then the vanilla big key has to be the big key. One of the few things there. A small key can only be on this side if it's accompanied by the big key. I don't actually know the full reason for that, because I don't know what the big key locks in terms of small key locations, but that's how the logic works.
Chenzi is going to do most likely the lumberjack sequence and.
You mean Smith sequence?
Yeah.
I'm like lumberjack. He's not going to do lumberjacks. He doesn't need 5 arrows, 5 arrow capacity. That's not a thing he needs.
Luckily we have the boots, so the hammer packs are really easily done.
Yep. Map in the big chest. So what do we have in this chest here? We get Ether. Well, not like he really needed to find Ether, because he already knew what both the medallions were, so... And to be fair, by the time that Chenzi gets there, Chenzi will also know that what both medallions are, most likely. I see no reason that Chenzi would enter Mire before getting the Cane of Samaria. Here's our Magic Bat check. I don't think we've seen Magic Bat from either player yet.
That is correct. This could turn out huge for Chenzi and pull up in the lead.
It'd be very funny if this is the flippers, actually.
What would a bat do with flippers?
Give them to an adventurer.
Was just a piece of art.
Yep, just a piece of heart. Not doing much for us here.
With now fewer items and fewer locations to go, where would you think the flippers will be?
At this point, huh. Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see them in Turtle Rock at this point.
Does Vitreous have an item?
I'm not actually sure. I'm pretty sure that's all the small keys. Actually, I think the fact the big key is on the right side means that yeah, Vitreous wouldn't have one. Yes, Vitreous does have an item.
So flippers could be on Vitreous, they could be in Turtle Rock. Could be on Mafia.
Ooh, not the cleanest of fights here. He actually needs to be a little bit careful here. I think he's fine at this point though.
Just 2 more arrows.
Yep.
The only enemy except for Ganon to take more than 1 silver arrow to die.
More than 1, but less than all of them anyways. Many enemies are just immune to arrows.
That is right. Chad is pointing out that Pedestal could have flippers.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, yeah, pedestal flippers are definitely a possibility as well. Pedestal flippers means we still need the ice rod before we can get there.
I'd like it if Book was in Ice Palace and flippers are on pedestal. That means we won't know flippers are on pedestal till we have a blind check.
Most likely. It depends on how our runners want to route it, because, of course, they could do Ice Palace, but there's very little reason to full clear Ice Palace with flippers being your go mode item, because of the fact that you know that nothing required to complete the seed is going to be in Ice Palace. Yeah, on Mothula, right. On Mothula would also be one heck of a location. As we mentioned before.
I think they'd only finish Mothula if they know pedestal is either required or Mothula has the item.
Well, that's the thing, is I think they know Mothula has an item, so I don't think it'll be... I'm not sure how far it gets put off.
I think they'll go in Turtle Rock before finishing off Mafia.
I would agree, given the fact that they both dipped out of Skullwoods immediately. Like, Skullwoods is too long for a single item check at this point, basically. Chenzi not going to make the gamble on Turtle Rock right now. Not going to blame him. Going to go do the Mire play that we just saw completed. HexMage just not quite pushing the block.
Maybe he needs Zelda again.
Maybe. He managed, though. He got there. So hopefully Chenzi gets something nice here. Now, of course, HexMage has not done the Smith chain yet, so we'll see if that's a place what HexMage decides to do shortly after this, or if he decides to go for Turtle Rock, or even, as I said, Ice Palace. We could see a plane to Ice Palace. I don't think we will. I see no reason to do Ice Palace before Go Mode, but you never know what these runners might think they might find in one of those locations. Fortunately, losing Sword Beams there. Got them all in the next cycle, though, so not a huge deal. Got some arrows flying. Got some landmos dying. We're also having a little bit of trouble landing the arrows. They're being a little silly right now. Yeah, we decided to go with sword strats. Tempered, of course, only 4 hits or 2 spins or some combination thereof to kill the Landmolas. I'm a little surprised that neither player decided to make the... I'm a little surprised that Chenzi didn't decide to make the Turtle Rock dip, given that Meyer, of course, is only 2 locations, and he was already there. HexMage is a little bit different, because HexMage sort of got the Samaria Cane to make the play into the Desert Meyer combo play. Whereas, of course, Chenzi had already done the desert by the time he even went to get the cane.
Flippers could also still be on Gunfer Ledge.
They could be. Flippers could be just about anywhere that's not Swamp Palace or Ice Palace. That's the whole trick right now.
Or Hobo.
True. They can't be in the other water location. One of these seeds that would have been made a lot easier if Swamp Palace had just been a pendant. Yeah, so here's HexMage going to do the Smith chain as I sort of predicted. So it was either this or Turtle Rock. Oh no, Bumper Cave, right, he just found Kate. Let's see what it is.
I think it won't be Flippers. I'm saying Flippers will be in Turtle Rock.
And it's a book, though. We're going to pick that up.
Oh. This opens up 2 more locations and a check.
Yep. We'll see if we get the pedestal check here. And if it'll be a decent time. And so, of course, this will be the one time, of course, if they're a Mothula, this is where you will go and do Mothula as well. If you decided to go do this ped check.
Yeah. I'd like to think Ice Rock is on one of the...
And I think that's what we're getting, because... No, you can't... This doesn't work. There's no path here. You can go through, but you're not going to get anywhere. Oh, okay. This is just how he's doing his pedestal check. I'm okay with this, then. I would have personally wanted to take my portal with me. As I mentioned, I would have liked to be able to go, oh, it is a pedestal seed, let's just literally go do Skull Woods right now. Heck, as I said, I would almost just want to do Skull Woods right now if I was going to do a pedestal check in the first place.
Let's get the hype in the chat for pedestal. Let's hope for Flippers.
Does this work?
Just yet. Other side.
Okay, there we go. Maximum health increased. It is not a pedestal seed. Doesn't mean it's not a green pendant seed. Or a blue pendant seed? I don't know which pendant Gullwoods is.
HexMage needs to be a little careful just on 2 of these.
I imagine this is... Oh no, this is probably just Ether Tablet check, although it could also be Spike Cave, because we of course have not seen a Spike Cave check yet, but I think he would have refilled his health if he was going to go for Spike Cave.
Ether Tablet to
Turtle Rock, yeah, is what I would imagine is going to happen. Although the heart refill, that could just be because he's on 3 hearts, of course, as well, though.
He does have half magic and the green potion, so it is entirely possible that he's gonna think, oh, let's just do it.
And it's a piece of heart. Lots of love on these book locations.
The book just wants to be loved.
And the fairy's gonna troll us real good.
Yeah, actually got it.
Of course, Chenzi has to do this sword spin and slash style because he doesn't have silvers. Now, of course, could use arrows, but that's just a little bit of silliness and not really worth it when you can just do this instead. Wonder how many hits he's got in on the main eye already. Not even going to use the bow for this part. Not that it's really going to be a huge issue either way. There we go.
Just a piece of art on the trios, as we knew. Well, there's our first shield.
Yep.
2 shields coming up and laser bridge required for flickers.
Who knows? Well, we already have a cape, so it's not like we need all the shields for laser bridge to be in logic. Laser bridge having, of course, one of the weirdest logics because of the fact that it basically just requires an invulnerability item or the riot shield. The riot shield being such an awkward thing to know if you have access to or not because of the fact that it's in 3 pieces. There's the flippers!
HexMage is in go mode. Will you do Ice Palace first or Swamp Palace?
Pretty much irrelevant at this point. It's just, you do them both. You're gonna do one of them, mirror out, flute to the other number, and do the other one, so...
And thus, a Turtle Rock dip was required.
Yep, Turtle Rock dip required because of the fact that, of course, that this was not a Swamp Pendant Seed. If we'd swapped Pod and Swamp Palace, we would have been in go mode a long time ago.
Well, not technically, as Ice Palace is still a crystal, but you can.
Yeah, but sorry. So I'll change it to my newly coined term. We would have been in goable mode a long time ago. Of course, HexMage probably not going to open any chests in most places here. Not much that he can really find that would be of a lot of use to him at this point. Having 3 bottles, Tempered Sword, Blue Mail is probably going to be fine. So just has pretty much everything he should need for this seed at this point. Might pick up the Waterfall chest in Swamp. Gonna have to show us his bomb jump. I've done like 1 bomb jump in here all tournaments so far because just every time that I come into Ice Palace, I'm doing a full clear of it anyways. And I have Samaria and Hookshot. I'm like, nah, I'm just not gonna bother doing it. When you're in go mode, you do that bomb jump. And Chenzi is making what we are going to assume is going to be the correct play.
I think Chenzi will check Ether Tablet first.
Yeah, but I don't expect that we're going to get like Ether Tablet, Spike Cave, and off to somewhere else. We're going to get Ether Tablet, and probably just Ether Tablet, and then Turtle Rock, just like HexMage did. As we go here. Gonna use Bombos here. Interesting. I'm not quite sure what the actual time difference is. I know optimally you lose a couple seconds on Bombos. I'm not sure about the typical casual speed of Fire Rod, though. how much different the speed is. Not bad for that starting there. Fire rod in there. Done.
Clean, very clean gold star fight.
At this point, we can pretty much say Chenzi is behind by Go Mode Ice, just a little bit more than Go Mode Ice Palace, which is not an insignificant amount of time. Still close enough that he's sort of within striking distance, but
I think
you'll require a pretty significant misplay by HexMage to catch us up, or one heck of a right side gamble by Chenzi without one by HexMage type of thing.
Entire room gamble.
I don't think we'll see a tile room gamble at an hour and 40 minutes.
That's true, but it could set it apart.
It would. It would set it apart, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
HexMage didn't flood the swamp yet, so can't enter any further yet.
And he will go in and fix that problem.
Chenzi's coming up to the flippers. If you were Chenzi in this situation, would you feel behind?
Probably a little bit. I think the main thing that would make me feel behind was the Smith chest, the Smith chain. Because the Smith chain was entirely superfluous and was late enough in the seed that it was just sort of time spent doing something that wasn't basically just dungeon. But I don't think, at the same time, I would also feel, well, let me think again. The problem, of course, is the fact that we've pretty much 100%ed the seed. And both players know they made the gamble to not go to Mothula, so that's a time save that both players get, type of thing. So there's a couple small things that probably would make you feel okay. I wouldn't be surprised if both runners feel like they could. Both runners definitely could feel like they could be behind, because, of course, Chenzi definitely could have been in Go Mode first if he'd done that Turtle Rock dip when he got the Cane of Samaria. And that's the one thing that could make either of these runners potentially feel behind, is if they feel like the other runner made the Turtle Rock dip.
Yeah.
Because the Turtle Rock dip would have been super easy to do, because you were already there and you would have been done. I'm trying to think, was there anything was Cane of Samaria the last thing we got? Yeah, it was just after we got Cane of Samaria, all we needed was flippers, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that could have been a thing for both players to be feeling that they sort of made an unnecessary play from there. Hard to say for sure though, of course, because both players did make the play fairly quickly overall. I'm trying to think of what else it would have even affected, because we had Meyer could have been done a little bit faster. Desert could have been go-moded, rather than having to go back for an item. So it could have made up a little bit of time there. Not really a huge difference, though.
Chenzi is gonna check this item location right here. Probably looking for the silver arrows right now.
Yeah, or possibly just a little bit of sort of forgetting which locations you need to do in certain dungeons. Hard to say for sure.
I've entered that east town, above the northwest of the conveyor belt room, downstairs in Thieves Town. I've entered that room way too many times sometimes.
Right.
And it just makes me feel sometimes dumb about it.
The first silver arrow. Let's see the silver arrow. I just personally always go for 2 tempered spins. I'm too finicky to bother with the potential time save of one-shotting him with a silver arrow, and I don't know the fire rod strats, so.
To answer a question from chat, silvers were at catfish.
Yeah. Interesting. Chenzi is still clearing. Like, I find this chest check very interesting, because this is not a trivial time loss. It's not a huge time investment either, but... Unfortunately, and of course, the fact that we know it's not going to pay off makes it all the more painful, because the best you could get would be red mail or butter sword. And neither of those being particularly valuable at this point. With 15 hearts and blue mail, you're in a pretty decent spot there, and Tempered Sword is all you really need for Ganon's Tower and Ganon. Getting one phase, of course, easier to one-cycle Ganon on phase 1 with the Butter Sword.
HexMage onto Ganon's Tower.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, everyone, we should probably get our guesses in. We're a little late on this. On starting this. At least we're on the all unofficial, anyways. Where does everyone think that big key's gonna be?
There are 22 item locations, so any of those are fine, and it depends on HexMage's screen.
Yeah, we'll call it based on HexMage's routing. I'm sure HexMage will have the big key first at this point. I don't think even if there was a tile room gamble by Chenzi here and HexMage did tile room last, I think that HexMage would still get the tile room before Chenzi entered the tower.
And HexMage entered the tower in 1 hour, 26 minutes and 56 seconds in.
So of course we did get a small key, so the right side gamble was available to us. So if the big key is on the right side, that and Chenzi goes for that right side gamble, there will be a significant time advantage gained here. Also, just to throw mine out there, I am right up there with our first guesser with the 8. 8 is my favorite. 8 is my standard guess for where the big key is.
I usually go for 11.
I'm sort of hoping for that, 20 right now. 18 through 21 is those are the ones I'm sort of hoping for right now, and hope that Chenzi makes that play. But we shall see.
Why not just hope for 22 even longer?
Yeah, but I would expect that Chenzi is going to go for the right side play, but not the tile room gamble. So I'm hoping for it to be in the 4 chests on the right side, but not in the tile room. HexMage just going with the nice, solid, easy strats there. Nice and safe when you do that. And just getting more keys. So that's, of course, chest 9 we're at right now. Chest 9.
This will be chest 10 through 13.
Yep. And we get... Oh, there's the riot shield.
2 shield upgrades in GT.
It's nice that we know that the, at least the mimics shooting their fire at us, it won't be an issue. Nice little clip there. Skipping the two warp animations. Oh,
but takes a fall.
It is going to be a little tricky because those beetles aren't going to get a lot easier to get by either, I don't think. It's going to be... Got it, okay. Got it safe that time.
Nearly took another fall right there.
Of course, powdering Bob and turning the other fairy into another Bob.
Just 3 more locations on this side for the key to be in, and otherwise it's on the right side.
Yep.
9 more locations to go.
And of course, the only significant thing we found on the left side so far has basically been that riot shield. There hasn't been a lot else. There's the ice rod.
It is on the right side.
Found the ice rod. So green pendant was not happening before Ganon's tower, no matter how much we wanted it to. Too bad silvers aren't the green pendant, because that would have been hilarious. HexMage not making that tile room first play. I do see a number of players that do the full left side actually go ahead and make the tile room gamble there, so they don't have to double back after this room. These couple of rooms, if it does happen to be there. Of course, still definitely a fairly large gamble because it takes very little time to get back to the tile room. Could be a little tricky. Probably just want to kill those guys now at this point, Hex. Wasted an extra shot. That wasn't a huge deal, though. And let's see. It's at 18 through 21. 18, 19, 20 is the butter sword.
Oh, there it is. It was number 21. Nobody in chat guessed it right.
No. As for the real guessers, congratulations to Cooper, Fox, and Zurok. But if we're not playing by Price is Right rules or actual guess rules, I guess Roller Rova is the closest. Even though he didn't guess with it between 1 and 22. But yeah, as I was saying before, so even had the big key been in tile room and HexMage did it last and Chenzi did it first, HexMage would still be well in the lead because of course Chenzi, he would have been doing the tile room. He would have probably been about finished the tile room already, even if it had been the tile room. Chenzi's still on the cold stare fight.
Clean fight from Chenzi.
Clean enough. Kept the cold stares from killing him at least. Used some fire rods to keep him in check. HexMage going into the gauntlet with only 3.5 hearts. Making short work of the first room. Where Silver Arrow's lagging the game, because everything that has special animations lags the game in this game. Of course, it's actually one of the reasons why the arrows are able to be switched. Of course, in the vanilla game, you are not able to switch things like your boomerang or your... of course, you lose the shovel after you get the flute, things like that. But in the randomizer, because of both the variability of when you pick items up and, of course, the differences in what they do, they've, of course, made the ability to swap between a couple of these different things instead of just removing them from your inventory once you have the next upgrade.
Clean Landmola's 2-5 from HexMage.
Yeah, nice and quick.
He's coming up to the Kane Smyra rooms.
So what does everyone think? Does Chenzi get the big key in 6 or 21? or some other number because of some other decision that he makes.
Chenzi being trolled by the dead rocks.
Of course, because why wouldn't the dead rocks troll? That's their entire purpose, pretty much. Someone sort of went, this would be really cool if we had this enemy that every time you hit them, they became immovable objects that you have to just wait around and wait for them to unfreeze. And then everyone went, please God, no, never again.
HexMage entered GT in 1 hour 26 minutes and 56 seconds, and it's gonna look like Chenzi is 9 minutes behind.
Yeah, pretty much just over 9 minutes behind. Like, if we had a right side gamble and a death on Aga 2, we might be real close to even, but I don't expect to see a death on Aga 2. Not from full health. Aga 2 can do some silly things, but he's not quite that dangerous.
But Hex takes a fall on Trolldorm too.
Yeah, Trolldorm 2 will do that on occasion.
Let's just hope Chenzi goes for the right side gamble.
Close up this a little bit, but is not going to.
HexMage finishes up Trolldorm 2.
So Chenzi will likely get 21 at least, possibly 22, depending on if he gambles Tile Room before finishing right side. And given the fact that he might very well see a done in the chat before he even finishes his right side play, I don't... Well, that might not affect his routing any, but it could. Having some problem with the bonk strat here. He's just getting off the edge a little bit. Just gonna walk around and hook shot. Probably a good choice.
And HexMage gets one shot, one blue ball back at Aghanim. Those were 2 or 3.
I'm gonna assume that wasn't a double. Because I think he got a triple on... I'm not quite sure exactly which ones didn't count, because there was definitely at least one hit there that didn't count, because he definitely connected at least 7 times. But when you hit balls at the same time, there are... If 2 balls hit on the same frame, they don't count. Of course, HexMage now into the Ganon fight. The big pig.
Has Butter Sword and Silver Arrows, so this should be a piece of cake.
Yeah. Of course, Chenzi will also have the Butter Sword, but will not have the Silver Arrows.
Just a little bit early on that hook shot.
Yeah. Got his 6 swipes in, though, so he's just trying to not take as little damage as possible. Shouldn't really be a huge issue, given that, of course, it's Silver Arrows. Very little risk of taking damage on the second part, or on the last phase of Ganon here. It definitely still happens, but much lower risk than many other situations. In other words, silverless situations. That was quite the phase 3 we had there. That phase 3 was longer than the first 2 phases, possibly combined. Will we get Torch Glitch? Nope, but that doesn't really matter. That should be good for a double. I don't think he'll go far enough back. Yeah, good for a double.
That's 3 hits, just 1 more.
And there we are. When the Chenzi Koden clears out the rando room, HexMage is going to walk through the door with an official Speed Racing TV time of 1:39:40. I'm sorry, but your princess is in another castle. Well, you were in a pyramid, so I'm not quite sure what castle we were talking about in the first place. Princess Zelda's actually just back in Hyrule Castle, that we did this all for nothing.
In open mode, if you don't save Zelda, what is the point? You just want revenge on Ganon for doing nothing?
Pretty much.
Let's see if HexMage will jump in for a interview post game.
I believe he's going to. He's taking a quick moment to just cool down, and I think he'll be right in. You need the hookshot for that, Chenzi. There you go. Get rid of that beetle. And we're gonna kill Bob. And here we go as our winner, HexMage. GG.
GG.
Well, that was a fun seed.
I didn't mind it. Just
No,
flippers were in an awkward place.
I was about to say, and you could have made the play there right after the Cane of Samaria and been just a little bit faster. But
Yeah.
I don't think it really mattered much because you basically did 2 crystal dungeons that went there anyways, I think.
Yeah. I thought after Samaria I'll do all the crystal dungeons that I need to do. And if the flippers aren't in there, Turtle Rock's my next play. But then I found Cape, then I found Book. So I did a couple of extra checks.
Yeah, and your execution just ended up being... Your execution definitely put you ahead of Chenzi. He also made slightly different routing. Just like he ended up doing the Smith's chain at one point, so that of course is just time put into that you didn't have to do type of thing.
Yeah, it was that versus Turtle Rock. It was either one of those had flippers because there was nothing left.
Well, I think unless I missed, was there an item in the front of Skullwoods?
Oh, yeah. No, there was another item on Mochila, but
okay,
we
weren't crazy because both of you skipped out on that. So we're like, did we miscount or they just both making the same gamble? Oh look, Bruno was in tile room.
Ah, okay.
We didn't even get the combos tablet check.
No, that was probably one of the last things I would have done. Right before fighting Motila. So I would have gone Turtle Rock up until Laser Bridge, because apparently Ice Rod was in GT.
Yeah, you weren't doing.
No.
We now know the pedestal wasn't even doable before getting the tower.
Yeah.
We didn't know that beforehand, but we know that now.
Yeah. So if Turtle Rock would have turned up empty, I would have done Smith's Chain, all 4 items.
Yeah.
That would have turned out empty. I would have done the bombos, and then I would have checked Mochila.
Yeah. So of course, if Smith's Chains had it, Chenzi would have definitely had you beat there, but fortunately for Chenzi was not the case. Fortunately for you, that was the case. Chenzi's going to get his key at 22 because he did the tile room gamble. Oh right, I'm like, why didn't HexMage stop his timer? Because you're using this SRTV timer, you can't stop that timer.
No, it stops when all racers are done.
Yeah, exactly. I realized it when I saw it flash green at the start of the race. I'm like, oh look, he's just captured me.
Yeah, I'm really lazy. If I can't use the SRL thing to stop my timer in speed racing, then I'll just use
the live split timer, live split integration.
Yeah. It isn't there yet, or is it? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I don't believe so.
Yeah,
I don't think I have Karkot in chat to task him about it either.
Yeah, but if that doesn't stop my timer, then I'll just use use whatever I can do that makes me the laziest.
Fair enough. Yeah, because basically you and Chenzi did like the same thing basically the whole time, and you just did it a little bit faster pretty much all the way through the race.
I don't think you could have really done it any other way.
Well, there was a couple.
I would have full cleared it. If I had done it in my normal routing, where I don't skip Skull Woods, I would have
Right.
just done the front and not even checked the
Right, so
stage.
you wouldn't have gotten the Titan's Mitts anyways.
No. I would have gone there at the exact same time.
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of ability aside from like that would have been the biggest thing was getting really early Titan's Mitts for one of you if you'd gone to at least that point.
But if you got the Titan Mitts really early, it might have confused me on where to go more.
Yeah. No, definitely it definitely had a lot of that because of how quickly it opened up a lot of what you needed.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't fake Flipper, I guess, because that would have just been a waste of time.
Yeah, that's what you're sort of saying. I'm like they could finish Ice Palace whenever they want, but there's not really a reason for them to do it.
There was no reason to do it because at the time I was only missing, I think, Mitts and Flippers.
Well, and you can't even go there without Mitts, so...
Yeah, and the moment I found Mitts, I only needed Flippers, so that means there's nothing important in there. I'm gonna go mode it anyway.
Yeah, the only reason to do it would literally be, I want thinking time, I'm gonna go mode Ice Palace while I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Once you found Flippers, did you feel very behind?
Well, I didn't really feel behind. I thought I would be about even, or ahead, or behind. It really depends on if my opponent checked Smith's chain, for example.
Yeah.
Or if he gambled a lot and skipped a lot of items that I didn't skip.
Yeah. As I said, the one thing that would have the biggest thing would have been if he'd just done the Turtle Rock dip when he got Samaria.
Yeah.
Which would have probably won him the race, but both of you really went up there to get Samaria to do Mire, so.
Yeah, it feels like a really bad play to do Turtle Rock when you can do Crystal Dungeons, which can have the item, which give you Belmont.
Although Chenzi would have had a better reason to do it, because he did Desert before he went up there. So, knowing that, of course, you only have the 2 locations on Mire versus the 5 locations I think you had overall, because you had both of the Desert locations, both the Mire locations, and the... Actually, did you have the Mire Shed still, too?
Yeah, because...
that was the first time you went there?
That was the first time I went there.
Yeah, okay, so you had 7 locations to get from that. So yeah, so there was no reason for you to, whereas Chenzi, of course, had already done all those locations. So by the time that he was going to do Mire, he only had 2 locations left there.
I don't understand why you would do that before getting Samaria.
Probably just a little bit of that in the moment. Oh, I'm gonna go do Desert Palace now and hope for the best, and then realize, whoops, I probably should have got Samaria first.
Yeah, because getting Samaria lets you do all that stuff in one go.
Exactly. So I imagine it was just either a mental lapse or it was maybe just a smaller gamble.
Well, it's not a gamble that will put you ahead.
Oh look,
get back there again.
There's the red mail in validation chest.
Ah, so it was useful. Glad I skipped it.
I was about to say you're doing Butter Sword. He's silverless, so it makes more sense for him to check it. He never got Catfish.
Yeah. Then he didn't get Sora as well, or did he check that?
Yeah, never did Zora.
Ah, okay.
This seed just wanted you to have lots of bombs. That's all I know.
Yeah, it gave you like 9 bombs before leaving Kakariko.
Well, and then it gave you at least 9, and then it also gave you, what, 4 bomb upgrades, if we include the one on the library ledge? Like, the first 15 minutes of the seed?
I think so. Bombs was really weird. And also the seed for this file is 3 bombs. Yeah,
3 bombs, that's right. 3 bombs and 2 bottles.
Chenzi got what he wanted to. The names of the character save files was please more bombs.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, more bombs please, I think. I think it was the other way around, but yeah. He asked for it and he got it.
Yeah. Well, at least it wasn't a bomb escape.
Yeah, exactly.
Just evil.
It was a silly, silly seed in the explosives regard. Okay, Chenzi, you got enough slashes in. Just hold the wall and save your magic. Or don't hold the wall. That works too. Everything is fine. For everyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about when I say hold the wall, if you're using the cape and you hold the wall, you don't use any magic. I think actually Chenzi showed that off in the tile room, and we just sort of weren't really. It was right as HexMage came into the room at that point, so didn't mention it at that point.
Just don't hold the wall at the last time Ganon jumps, as chances are you'll fall.
Well, you got lots of time to deal with. You're not going to hold the wall, and you're not going to have the cape out in this part. It's more for the end of phase 2 that you're doing that to dodge all the fire bats. Oh, that's walking off the edge. Okay, we're fine. Missed the torch glitch. It could be a little. I think we still have 2 blue potions though. I'm not sure he's used a single blue potion yet. Might have 3. Might even have 3 blue potions still.
I think Chenzi still has 1 green potion from
no, he used the blue. He used the green and bought a blue. Way back when he went to the witch's hut, he literally spent it. He spent the green to fill up his, an 1/8 of the magic so that he could get out of his inventory and get that instead. Not sure how we're doing on hits here. I'm not sure I've seen a single successful hit yet, actually.
I thought I've seen 2.
It's really hard to tell with his 30 frames.
There is 1.
There's another one, yeah. There hasn't been a lot of rebounding. I think there's been 1 or 2 they might have got that just weren't rebound. I never quite understand why some of them don't rebound, but...
That's another one.
Yep. He's in the rhythm now. We're good.
At least 4 right now.
It can definitely take a little bit to get into the rhythm of this, especially if you're sort of thinking too much. Now, I do believe Chenzi knows that he hasn't put a GG, at least not in the chat that I can see.
Don't think he has seen it yet.
But congratulations, HexMage, to clinging on to the edge. You can still make it into the brackets for sure.
Yep.
You've got to win next round.
On that note, were you expecting to? Was this sort of your goal? Was your goal to make brackets, or were you just trying to do well, or just in it to have fun?
My initial goal was to go better than I did at the Kisanity tournament, which I went 2-3 in.
Okay.
Then my goal became, well, I want to have more wins than losses.
Yep.
And in the first couple of rounds, I realized that there were a lot of really new people in this tournament. So I thought, okay, brackets should be doable.
Yeah. And there goes Chenzi through the door with an official SRTV time that you can see on HexMage's timer of 1:53:59. Because of course HexMage's timer is the official timer.
Let's see if Chenzi will also hop in for an interview.
As you say it, he looks like he already is. You are muted there, Koden, but GG on that race.
Thanks. That was interesting. My best time ever.
Well, that's good.
At least it's a sub 2.
Yeah, exactly. No, this is the second time I've ever sub 2'd. So I'm pretty happy about that.
That's pretty impressive then, yeah, in that case. You could have got it down in another couple minutes if you'd gambled on that Turtle Rock when you were up there for Samaria, but same could have been said for both of you, and when you have fire in your vision, that makes more sense anyways.
Yeah, I thought about it, and like you said, mire was like right there, and I just noped out.
Yeah. Well, and so the only reason why we talked about this, so HexMage of course grabbed Samaria before doing the mire area in the first place. So for him getting Samaria was part of a 7 or 8 location check, whereas for you getting Samaria was a 2 location check. And it was the one thing that I was going to think. I was thinking like maybe he does the Turtle Rock dip, maybe he just goes into Turtle Rock and sees what he gets, but didn't happen. And I'm not sure.
I wasn't too happy with my routing, to be entirely honest.
Yeah, well, and to be fair, at that point, I'm not sure it's even what cost you the race, because I think that, of course, HexMage didn't waste a lot of time, so it would have been real. It would have made the race closer. It would have been one heck of a close one if you had done it, but good race nonetheless.
Yeah, I do regret going so far into pod as I did. I know that was a waste of time for me.
Well, I did full clear it as well.
Yeah, you guys were both in there at the same time, I believe.
I thought it was a little different, but not too much.
Yeah. It wasn't entered at the same time, but I believe you were both in pod at the same time.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm kicking myself for not going after Turtle Rock sooner than I did, because I kept telling myself heading up to Death Mountain the second to last time, find the flippers and get the heck out. And obviously it was 3 chests on Turtle Rock, and that could have made the difference.
And of course that book baited both of you, because why wouldn't you go pick up that book after where that cape was?
Yeah, I was a little annoyed with myself. Well, annoyed with the seed about that more than anything.
To be fair, I had the same thing in my last tourney race. I had the book there. I'm like, well, I got the cape. I may as well go pick up the book because I'm going to Turtle Rock, and I don't want to have to come all the way back down and go all the way back up just because it's on Ether Tablet.
Well, I didn't even know it was the book at the time. I forgot to check.
Oh, that's right. Actually, did either of you know it was the? I'm trying to think. Did either of you know it was the book?
I didn't. I went to check to see
okay.
if it was the flippers and saw that it was the book and said, I might as well.
That's right, because Hex did the North Dark World loop there for Grove or for Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb, but Ned didn't do the ledge. Did you do the same thing there, Koden?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure if you did it at the same time or whether. Either way.
One of the things that was also a bit more time loss for you, Koden, was the Smith's sequence.
Yeah, I was a little sad when that turned out to be a bust.
But when you're down to 1 item to go mode, it's a little bit different. Because any location could be the location.
Yeah, exactly. And I was hoping it'd be in the overworld, because a lot of the seeds that I've been practicing with have had go mode items in the overworld. And from there, I could just, mirror and flute or what have you and be done with it. But that didn't turn out to be the case this time.
We're just all sad that flippers weren't on Mothula.
I thought about that, and I very quickly stopped thinking about that.
Because we're like, oh, they both did that. I wonder who's going to be the first one back to get their flippers. Then we're like, darn, flippers weren't there.
Would have been my last item to check.
I was worried flippers were going to be on PED.
I checked PED after I got the book. It wasn't hard.
Yeah, we thought Hex would finish Mothula once when he went to check the pedestal, but he mirrored just outside of the forest, so we were like, what? Oh, just a pet check then.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna put in all the efforts walking through the entire dungeon again. Especially if there's nothing on pad. If there was something on pad, I would have instantly went in.
Yeah. Because what could have even been... I don't think there was really anything of value that could have been on there now that we know where everything was. Because we found the red mail, we found the butter sword, we found Cane of Burn. I think we literally found every item, actually.
Yeah, the only thing that could have been on there that would have been relevant was either a sword or the flippers.
Well, at the time, yeah, but I mean, now that we know where everything is, the only thing that could have been there could have been a moth that would have been relevant. Would have been the last bottle. Like, would have been the most relevant thing we could have found. And when you're in Red Mail Butter Sword, even a fourth bottle isn't really relevant.
No.
Where were the silver arrows at?
Catfish.
Ah, such an out of the way place.
Yeah, I checked it along with Sora.
After pod.
After pod, yeah.
Okay, well, c'est la vie.
I must say, at least they weren't in Pyramid Fairy, because I don't know anyone who does Pyramid Fairy after their last dungeon. Or second last dungeon, as the case was with Koden, but either way. Granted, I say that, I've totally done that and found Tempered Sword before, but that's different. But yeah, so...
boots in there, I think.
Sorry?
I want some boots in Pyramid Fairy with a big key on the torch.
That could always be fun. That's also a different case, one where you still have significant items that you could still find by doing it.
Yeah.
Or, but anyways, we've been talking for a while here. Any last thoughts either of you have on the seed there?
Just congratulations to HexMage, GG. You're still in it. I've got a snowball's chance, but you never know what happens.
Yeah, you need really good tiebreakers.
Yeah.
And I just need to win, or have really good tiebreakers.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, GG. This whole tournament has been a lot of fun. I'm really glad I did this. Like I said, I've gotten my best times ever by playing in this tournament. So definitely no regrets.
Yep, that's always good. So with that, of course, we will give some shoutouts here. So of course, for one more time, if you did enjoy watching this race between Chenzi, Koden, and HexMage, we do have their links in the chat there. Do consider giving them a follow. They put on a fantastic race for us today. Also, if you're enjoying the tournament, consider giving, of course, all these ALTTP Randomizer channels a follow. There's 4 of them to throw follows after, as well as the Speed Gaming channels, which is also hosting this tournament. Speed Gaming through Speed Gaming 6 are all being used potentially for this tournament. And finally, I do want to thank our tracker for this seed, Dracaris, and our restreamer, Data World, giving us the chance to show everyone what's going on with these races. And finally, of course, Demon's Druid for commentating with me today.
Thank you, you did an amazing job as well.
And with that, give everyone one final good night, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is where you are. Continue having a good one.